Hey, how's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna talk about Arsenal's attack because it has become a bit of a worry for me. Still, it feels very weird because we are top of the table, we are flying high, we are top of in Champions League, Premier League, we are semi-finals, Carabao Cup with good chances of going through. FA Cup, we have to play Wigan next round and all this stuff. We are performing defensively, we are rock solid. It feels like defense feels unpenetrable at times, right? We have only seen 2 goals this season in 3 separate games out of all 30 plus we have played, which is quite insane to even think about, which means that no matter if the score is, if it's a draw 0-0 during the game, we are losing 1-0, we are always in it with a potential chance of tying or winning the game, which at the end of the day is fantastic, right? But as I said, we're gonna talk about the attack. And for me, the worry about the attack is the fact that sometimes, even though we don't score enough, we don't even create enough. And that is a big issue for me. Because if we created 2 chances per game and we scored 2 chances per game every single time, I wouldn't care as much about it, right? Because we would be hella clinical and nobody could say anything about it. But we sometimes don't even create as such reliant scoring chances as you would wish for. Obviously, Nottingham Forest, it was a 0-0 draw. Martinelli misses empty net. That was nuts. First things first, 180 grand a week. Saka's header got saved by Sells and everything. And we were very reliant on set pieces. We always try to do this, which is Arsenal's thing. We score a lot of set pieces, and this is another way we try to basically compensate sometimes about the issues we have in the attack when we sometimes don't create as much, we sometimes don't score as much, and basically we try to mask our insufficiencies in the attack, which basically leads me to today's topic about the attack. We usually play a starting 11, and the front trio, it's Gyökeres, Saka, and well, Martinelli, Trossard. It has been Martinelli in recent games, but mostly it has been Trossard. And Trossard has looked the best of all of them, I'm not gonna lie. Gyökeres, he's struggling heavily. Yes, he's not getting the ball from the number 10 from the wings enough. I will agree with that much, which is one of the reasons why he's failing. The team is not playing always to his strengths, which again is a big another thing. At the same time, sometimes it's also on Gyökeres, because if you look at some runs he's making, he's making some brilliant runs, but the players just don't pass him the ball. Whether it's on purpose or whether they don't see him, that is a completely different story, or they want to play the safe ball, which kind of completely embodies Mikel Arteta, that he wants to be safe, pragmatic, maintain possession and control the game. That's a completely different story for a different day. But you can see many times that during games, Gyökeres makes great runs between the lines. There's an open passing lane for Odegaard, Zubimendi, Saka, whoever, and he just doesn't get the ball, right? That's one thing. The other thing for me is the fact that he makes runs, but he sometimes makes also the wrong runs, which is very weird to say, but we don't always find Gyökeres also because he makes weird runs, as I said. Because when he comes off, Jesus comes on, or Martinelli kind of drifts into that number 9 spot and he makes the runs, you can see that maybe we go on a counter, our wings are expanding the play, and we have a chance to drive the ball across the goal, right? Many times we try to drive it to the long, far corner, or we try to basically cut it back to the penalty spot, more or less somewhere there. And obviously everyone knows it, they try to cover it, it doesn't always work and all this stuff, but it is what it is. But when I talk about Gyökeres, he makes these runs sometimes where he doesn't attack the ball, when he just runs behind defender in hopes that the ball is gonna get crossed or driven across the goal box, right, on the far corner or the near corner or whatever, and he just stands and makes a run behind the defender, instead of what we have seen from Martinelli, Jesus, and even Havertz to a degree, where in the same instances they attack the ball and they just run at it. Basically, as defender, for example, is standing here, Gyökeres sometimes makes the run there behind the defender, or he comes near here, or he for a cutback, and we don't cut it back, we try to cross it, right? But when you look at Jesus or Martinelli sometimes, or even Havertz, when defender is standing here, they run in front of him. When the ball is driving across, they run in front of him to overtake the defender, which creates much more dangerous chances many times, which for me is a worry. But this is not the main issue here. We don't create as much, we don't score as much, and with Havertz and Jesus being back, I hope that is going to change. I really hope that is going to change, because they bring a different dynamic to the attack, which Gyökeres has almost zero input in. And that is the link-up play, which allows our players, our forwards, to get into proper positions. And that then is something we need to create the chances. The issue is it doesn't always work. And that for me is now coming to Mikel Arteta. Because we play one way, we attack in one same way against almost every single damn opponent on the pitch, right? And that for me doesn't cut me well, doesn't go with me well. Because it sometimes doesn't matter. We play Liverpool, we play City, Villa, Nottingham Forest, Wolves, whoever, we play the same goddamn way. Which also means it's very easy for opposing team to scout us, because they have to defend in the same goddamn way. And that is one of the biggest issues with me sometimes in the attack, where we don't mix it up. We don't change anything. We don't sometimes... We play 4-3-3, right? Gyökeres, Saka, and Trossard, Martinelli. Then when subs come on, Gyökeres comes off, Jesus goes up top, or Havertz. Left wing, right wing, Madueke, Martinelli, or vice versa, and stuff like that. Basically like per like, right? We make like per like subs, and at the end of the day, nothing changes. And I just wish that Arsenal, and in this instance, this is a stone in Mikel Arteta's garden, that he would have other ideas in the attack. Besides the way he wants to play first thing, then coming the set pieces and all this stuff, I just wish sometimes he would switch it up. Sometimes I wish he would switch it up. Like make 4-4-2, 4-2-2, right? 4-3-1-2 or something like that. Basically play with two strikers. Play with two strikers, because that maybe could help Arsenal to be more threatening in the half spaces, and distribute the ball, link up play, and create maybe more chances, which is where Calafiori comes into play, which Calafiori has done quite excellently this season, where he comes from the left side, he drifts into midfield, and then plays sometimes as high as the secondary number 9 in those half spaces, making us in a formation which basically is like 3, I don't know, even 3-4-3, something like that, which basically means he go... No, not even 3-4-3, it's basically like 3-2, 3-2, basically 3-2-2-3, basically something like that, right? Which obviously helps us to unlock certain instances. It's actually quite visible how our attack actually has stifled quite a bit since Calafiori has gotten injured, because Hincapie has a great job he has done as a left back. He's more defensive, he's not as attacking. Miles Lewis-Skelly, he can do certain things, but he is not the same. And as much Calafiori sometimes got the stick last year, this season he has proven that he is actually very, very good at that. Because our defense is rock solid, and our defense is the reason why we are where we are. Our defense keeps us in games, and it bails us out many times. Mostly because it is that good. It is that good. We don't allow our opponents to do much against us, first things first. And when they even manage to slip through the cracks, Raya is there, we recover, and we basically maintain this policy where we don't concede. Right? As I said before, we have conceded 2 goals this season only on 3 occasions. Only on 3. Rest of the time, it's a nothing, where opponents don't even sometimes get a shot on target against us, or we concede 1 goal, which means Arsenal are always in play, Arsenal always are a threat, and which basically allows us to have some sense of security in this regard, that if we manage to nick a goal from set piece or something like that, 9 times out of 10 we're gonna win the game. And this is the reason why we are where we are on top of the table at the moment, right? So I just think that Arsenal sometimes need to have this tactical adaptability, which obviously it's very evident that sometimes we lack. We play too pragmatic, too predictable, too systematic, right? And it's no wonder that people tend to call us set piece FC. It's no wonder that people say they are half asleep when they watch Arsenal, because we play the same damn way every single game. There is no adjustments, no nothing. It's the same goes for our midfield. I don't think that every single game we need to play two DMs. We don't need double pivot with Zubimendi and Rice. We don't need them both. We can deal with one, and the other one could be more attacking, because sometimes I wish that when Odegaard gets basically man marked out of the game, we are lacking that creative number 10. And I wish that sometimes we played Eze in that 8 and he could drift into that left 10, sorry, and he could help us with the creative aspect of the game, because you can see that if Odegaard is not clicking, which happens quite a bit as soon as you get physical and very, very, very in high pressure situations, right? He disappears. And then our attack stifles even more. Because if Odegaard is on it, he is on it, right? And that many doesn't happen too often these days. And it happens mostly when Arsenal are convincing in the lead as well many times. And when it's not happening, we are very slow. We are just very boring and unimaginative. We do nothing at the end of the day. We try some crosses, we try something, but it feels like basically jump starting a car on a cold day. You know, when you turn the key and it goes and it doesn't start. It feels something like that. And I just wish that sometimes we played Eze in the 8 so he can actually go up and drift into that 10, left 10, to help create something. That's why I would wish to have some dynamics, some adaptability and everything. But obviously Arteta doesn't want to do that, and I think he's waiting for Calafiori back to go back to his ways. It's gonna be interesting to see how we're gonna play once Calafiori comes back, and how it's gonna fit with the plans of Havertz, with Gyökeres, with Jesus, everyone else. Because when you play Gyökeres, you get the finishing, but you don't get the link up and you don't get the creative aspect. However, when you play Jesus and Havertz, one or the other, you get the creative aspect, but you actually sacrifice a bit of finishing aspect, because they both are not prolific finishers. So maybe depending on the opponent, Arteta maybe could change up the system, change up the style, but that is I think far too late to even think about, because so far it has worked. We are top of the table, we are 7 points clear, top of Champions League, and you know, as the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It doesn't need fixing, don't fix it, right? So maybe Arteta is going by that. Time only will tell at the end of the day. Time only will tell. Let me know down in comments what you think about this. Subscribe, like the video, and see you very, very soon. Peace.